Welcome and welcome back to Writing Raven Shorts, the micro podcast all about writing advice and bookish topics. I'm Robin Shadle, author and college professor. Today, we're diving into the art of fantasy world building, the kind that feels ancient, enchanted, and eerily real, but doesn't take you a decade to complete because we're starting at the bottom and moving up to the heavens. So, fantasy gives us the power to invent everything. Cultures, creatures, entire planes of existence. That's the attraction, but for writers, that world building is also a trap. It can be something where we feel we have to keep doing, we have to have everything in place. But the secret isn't completion, it's cohesion. The best fantasy worlds don't just exist. They aren't encyclopedias and books. They make sense. Every piece of magic, every myth, every mountain range should feel like they could only exist in that place. That's why, as in my last episode when I said start small, we start fantasy at the bottom, with the lived experiences of the people in our worlds, and we build up to the bigger picture. Start by defining the soul of your world. Tragic, hopeful, decaying, reborn. The emotional core should echo throughout everything, from the way people speak, to the architecture, to how they interpret fate or faith. As someone who writes dark and gothic fantasy, I tend to favor the tragic and decaying. But I also enjoy reading hopeful, heroic, and cozy as well. Then, build magic or mythology as expressions of those daily events, not as decorations. Ask, what purpose does the magic serve? What cost does it demand? A world where magic heals disease will look very different from one where it curses with decay. The same is true with myths. Myths grow out of trying to explain natural phenomena, storms, seasons changing, death. Start on the ground, build toward the heavens. And finally, don't explain everything. Mystery gives your world gravity. It gives your world room to grow and breathe. And as a writer, it gives you wiggle room to play with things as you need. Let the myths contradict themselves. Let old gods sleep under forgotten hills without naming them just yet. Readers don't need the textbook for magic. They need to feel the pulse of its authenticity. Remember, fantasy world building isn't about creating distance from reality. It's about reflecting reality through a fictive, often mythic lens, showing what people believe, fear, and hope for when all limits are in one sense stripped away. That's all for this episode of Writing Raven Shorts. If you found this helpful, drop a follow or a like. Comment below on your favorite aspect of world building. Next time, we'll discuss quick tips for dialogue that sizzles and that delights. Happy writing!